One evening, after a tiring day at work, Sarah set out to drive back home. The atmosphere was gloomy, with the sky covered in thick clouds. Her car moved along the wet asphalt, and the light from its headlights illuminated the surroundings in a mysterious way. Sarah tried to relax with the soft music playing on the radio during her long journey, but an uneasy feeling lingered within her. Suddenly, she noticed something on the dark road ahead. Another vehicle rapidly approached and abruptly cut her off. Sarah slammed on the brakes, feeling her heart pounding with the sudden stop. As the car in front of her came to a halt, a wave of unease swept over Sarah. A hand appeared from the rear window and waved at her. Instinctively, she locked the doors and rolled up the windows. The hand, visible for a while, suddenly withdrew into the darkness. Sarah couldn't bring herself to look out of her car window. However, she noticed a silhouette stepping out of the vehicle in front of her. It was strange because the person had stopped in an area where no other cars could be seen waiting. For a while, there was silence, but then the doors of the vehicle in front of her swung open with a loud thud. Sarah felt a sense of panic, but she mustered the courage to step out of her car to understand what was happening. The coldness of the air and the silence intoxicated the surroundings. The silhouette in front started to circle her car. Although Sarah couldn't see the person's face, the movements were unsettling. Suddenly, a voice emerged from the shadows. "I need help," said the voice, but Sarah was aware of the danger hidden behind that sentence. As Sarah began to step backward, another silhouette appeared from the darkness behind her. Trapped between two figures, the young woman started screaming in despair. The darkness around her was disorienting, and she couldn't find an escape route. Suddenly, the voice from the first silhouette intensified. "We want you," it said, followed by the second silhouette repeating the same phrase. In a state of panic, Sarah looked around, but there was no one to respond to her cries for help. The highway, within the silence of the night, bore witness to her horrifying fate. The two silhouettes slowly closed in on Sarah. Helplessly, she recoiled, but she couldn't escape their clutches. Finally, in the darkness that enveloped her, she vanished in agony and despair. The road, quietly observing this horrific scene, absorbed Sarah's screams into the void. The night swallowed the desolate industrial district, leaving only the hum of distant machinery and the flickering lights of the forgotten factory. Rain tapped on the corrugated roof, creating an eerie symphony that echoed through the empty halls. Alex Turner, a solitary security guard, patrolled the factory grounds. The rhythmic echoes of his footsteps seemed to blend with the haunting melody of the rain. Alex was a man of few words, a loner who preferred the company of silence. He had taken the night shift at the abandoned factory to escape the complexities of the outside world. Little did he know that the factory held secrets far more intricate than the human psyche. His routine was monotonous but reliable. The factory, a relic of a bygone era, stood tall like a forgotten giant. Broken windows gazed out like hollow eyes, and the walls whispered tales of a time when life pulsed through its veins. One stormy night, as Alex made his rounds, a strange noise interrupted the usual symphony. It was a soft, distant hum, like a lullaby sung by the ghosts of the machinery. Ignoring it at first, Alex tightened his grip on the flashlight, his only companion in the vast darkness. The hum persisted, guiding Alex toward the heart of the factory. The flickering lights cast dancing shadows on the walls, and the air grew heavy with an unspoken tension. It was as if the factory itself had come alive, sharing its hidden secrets with the lone guardian. As he approached the heart of the factory, the hum intensified. The machines, long silenced, seemed to awaken with a spectral energy. Alex's steps faltered, but an unseen force urged him forward. The air became charged with an otherworldly presence, and the factory seemed to breathe with a life of its own. In a dimly lit chamber, Alex discovered an ancient control panel, covered in layers of dust and cobwebs. The hum emanated from this forgotten relic. As if guided by an unseen hand, Alex hesitantly pressed a button. The factory roared to life, its machines whirring and clanking in a synchronized dance. Terrified yet entranced, Alex witnessed the revival of the factory's soul. Conveyor belts moved, long dormant assembly lines creaked to life, and sparks illuminated the once dark corners. The ghosts of industry, trapped in the echoes of time, found a momentary escape through the resurgence of their mechanical kingdom. But this rebirth came at a cost. The spectral energy that fueled the factory sought a vessel, a conduit to bridge the gap between the living and the lingering spirits. Unbeknownst to Alex, he had become the chosen one, the reluctant host for the ethereal force that hungered for life. The factory's atmosphere grew thick with anticipation as shadows danced with malevolent intent. Alex felt an icy grip around his soul, his every breath stolen by an unseen force. The machines, once obedient to the rhythm of production, now followed a darker cadence, echoing the impending doom. The factory's resurrection reached its peak as the ethereal force, now a swirling maelstrom of darkness, enveloped Alex. He tried to scream, but his voice was drowned in the symphony of chaos. The world twisted into a nightmarish kaleidoscope as the factory claimed its sacrifice. The rain outside intensified, a torrential downpour echoing the storm within the factory. The ghosts of industry, having tasted the essence of life, retreated into the shadows. The machines fell silent once more, and the control panel, now dimly lit, revealed Alex's lifeless form. Morning light struggled to pierce the thick clouds as the storm subsided. The abandoned factory, its secrets buried within the walls, stood silent once again. The rain washed away the evidence of the night's malevolent dance, leaving only the whispers of a tragic tale. The factory returned to its dormant state, a silent sentinel in the industrial wasteland. The echoes of Alex's footsteps, once a lonely vigil, were swallowed by the haunting melody of the rain. The night had claimed its watchman, and the factory, having tasted the essence of life, would wait patiently for the next unsuspecting soul to cross its threshold. The darkness of the evening had enveloped the city, casting a shroud over the streets. Jake, weary from a long day, trudged his way back home. His footsteps echoed lightly on the wet sidewalks, seemingly lost amidst the towering buildings and the lengthening shadows that the fading sunlight left behind. Jake's house sat on the edge of a tranquil neighborhood, surrounded by trees and gardens. As he opened the door, hoping to find solace within, an unsettling silence greeted him. Initially, only the sound of his own breath filled the air, but soon he realized something was amiss in the dark corridor extending from the entrance. The hollowness in the hallway hinted at an absence, and a chill ran down Jake's spine. At first, he merely heard his own breath. However, as he ventured deeper into the house, he noticed something was awry. His eyes fixated on the door leading to the living room. It was slightly ajar, allowing a dim light to seep through. Pushing the door open slowly, a scene unfolded before Jake's eyes. A masked intruder, clad in black, rifling through Jake's valuables. An anger simmered within Jake, yet an undercurrent of fear coursed through him. The dark outside had settled, and calling for help on the silent streets seemed like a futile effort. "We were supposed to be safe, weren't we?" the thief murmured before Jake noticed his presence. Jake, attempting to control the anger in his voice, asked, "Who are you, and why are you here?" The thief abruptly stood up, turning to face Jake. Beneath the mask, his eyes gleamed with an unsettling coldness. "We were supposed to be safe, yes, but sometimes the darkness reveals the truths we're meant to face," he said with a mysterious smile. Jake, realizing the intruder was armed with a knife, felt a surge of adrenaline. The standoff between them was a dangerous dance, and the unfamiliarity of dealing with an intruder in his own home pushed him to the brink of peril. The thief approached Jake, the glint of the knife catching the light. "What business does someone like you have here? Did you crave wealth?" he inquired. Jake noticed the glinting knife and pulled one from his pocket, preparing to defend himself. "I was just trying to get home. I don't know what you want, but please, leave." Go without anyone knowing, Jake pleaded desperately. The thief grinned at Jake's words, but continued with a stern expression. This is not just a house. It's a treasure trove, and you, my friend, are the guardian of this treasure. Now show me where you've hidden it. Jake's eyes scanned the intensity reflected in the thief's gaze. Somehow, the intruder had been drawn to the valuable items in Jake's house. Yet, no matter how he struggled, Jake had no information about any hidden treasure. If you don't know, things just got a bit more complicated, the thief said, shaking the knife threateningly. I have a life I want to get back to. Just let me be and go, Jake said, trying to conceal his despair. The thief's expression shifted, anger and disappointment intertwined on his face. If you don't know, things just got a bit more complicated, he stated, brandishing the knife threateningly. Jake, hesitating for a moment, decided to take action. However, the thief's speed and focus surpassed Jake's efforts. A conflict ensued, disrupting the silence of the rooms with the struggles and gasps for breath. The knife gleamed in the air as Jake's defensive attempts proved futile. The thief, using his advantage, cornered Jake. In a scream, the knife found its mark in Jake's body. Pain seized him, and as Jake fought, he witnessed the essence of his life slipping away. With a glinting knife in hand, the thief looked at Jake's lifeless body. Sometimes, the darkness reveals our true selves, he muttered, before quietly leaving the house. Jake's home was now filled with a scream echoing in the silence of the night and the subsequent hush. The thief vanished into the shadows of the city lights, leaving Jake's house to stand as a silent witness in the darkness, patiently awaiting the next unsuspecting soul to cross its threshold.